All right, welcome back to the Tacoma Dome. Rick Dupree along with Craig Jackson. And what a boys championship game again. The Auburn Trojans, a 58-48 winner over Rainier Beach to capture their first state title. And Craig, I tell you what, that was a well-played game. Again, a lot of nerves early and what have you. But once they got into it, it's kind of back and forth, and Rainier Beach just couldn't quite get over the hump.
Yes, it was that answer. Auburn always answered that Rainier Beach run, and probably something Rainier Beach is not used to a lot of teams being able to do: answer the pressure, handle the pressure, and answer the run. But great, my hats go off to both squads. Second isn't bad; it's not what you want. And then, of course, to Auburn, congratulations on winning the state championship.
Yeah, they're first in school history. And now I hope you are ready for some more great basketball. Lake Washington, Garfield going to vie for the girls 3A title. And Garfield, a big win last night. It was a close game up until the last 2 or 3 minutes. And Katie Pizzo, I was just watching, not watching, but I was looking online. And at one point, I think the Bulldogs were up by about 2 or 3 points. Both Malia Samuels and Katie Pfizer had 15 points, and the Pfizer finished with 25. So I don't know if she had the last 10 for Garfield, but she certainly played one heck of a game for the Bulldogs. And so again, that coming up, they're doing the national anthem. So I'll turn it back over. We looking at the court, and then once that's done, we will be ready to go. So there you have it, and also hope you are tuning in, listening to us here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Bruce Kerr says, say hi to daughter Maddie Kerr. She's an assistant coach and a JV coach for Lake Washington. We are mom and dad in Edgewater, Florida. Proud of her, and go Kings. So thank you, listening all the way from Florida. What's the weather like there, man? I should be there with you all. I'll tell you what. But we had some sun today. It was beautiful here in Seattle. And right now, I'm going to turn it back over to the PA announcer as we have the starting lineups announced. And then Craig and I will be back to give you the call of the state, WIAA state championship game, 3A championship game between the Lake Washington Kangaroos and the Garfield Bulldogs.
David Joseph, 23, Camilla Bryant, and now the starting lineup.
And so basically what they're doing is they announce all of the players on each team, minus the starters, and now the starting lineups.
For the Bulldogs,
that is number 0, Sydney Panay. And Malia Samuels for the Bulldogs.
Number 3, junior Ray Butler-Wu.
Ray Butler-Wu, number 3 for the Lake Washington Kangaroos.
5, junior MB Jones.
MB Jones for the Bulldogs.
For the Kangs, wearing number 12, senior Elise Haney.
Elise Haney.
Number 20 for Garfield,
6'4" senior forward for the Kangaroos.
Jackson.
And for the Bulldogs, number 20, Rakia Jackson, a junior.
For Lake Washington, wearing number 15, junior Jolie Sim.
Jolie Sim, a 5'9" junior for the Kangs.
For Garfield, sophomore Katie Fizzo.
And Katie, is it Fizzo or Fizzo? I thought it was Fizzo. It is Fizzo, yeah. Okay, so Katie Fizzo, sophomore for the Bulldogs. And for the Canes, number 25, Rosa Smith. And for the Bulldogs, number 24, Jada Lewis. So those are the starting lineups. I tell you what, Craig, looking at this Garfield Bulldog roster in particular, they're young. They are young, and they are loaded.
Yes, yes. And have Nevaeh Talbot is out. And she's another junior.
So Marvin Hall and his Garfield Bulldogs coming in ranked number 1, taking on Lake Washington, the Kangaroos, coached by Jeff Wilson. And we are about ready to bring you this game live right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. If so, go over to Venmo and go to @Rainier Avenue Radio at Venmo, and you can make a donation. We certainly would appreciate that support. Also want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Public Health Seattle King County, For Culture, and the Washington State Department of Health. And so really appreciate that. And if you are tuning in, as you know, we are not allowed to show game action, but we will. So the camera will be on me and Craig and also Daniel, and we will bring you that coverage. I hope you enjoy our call of the game. We're about ready to tip it off, and the Bulldogs control the tip. Fizo with the ball, the sophomore, number 22. And again, Fizo pumped in 25 last night in the semifinal win. Samuels, a true point guard, and Craig, a true point guard that is a floor general, but can also put some points on the board if she needs to.
Yes, and a dog on defense.
Yeah,
loves to play defense.
The Bulldogs 5 on the shot clock. Fizo looking for a shot between the legs, one, and she gets it off just as the buzzer goes off. The rebound came down to MB Jones, and that shot was blocked, and then I believe they called Jones with a foul on the rebound by the Kangaroos. And looking to see, maybe they didn't call a foul. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it on the scoreboard yet. We'll let you know. Kangaroos with it. Jolie Sim. I'll check that. The Rosa Smith over to Sydney Hanai and into, the big girl, Elise Hani. And Hani with the bucket, 6'4", senior. That's a tough person to guard. Samuels over, finds, the shot by Rakia Jackson won't go, but the Bulldogs come down with the rebound. Fizo out, rather I should say Samuels out to Fizo. And you got 10 on the shot clock. Fizo back over to Samuels. Samuels open three-pointer. A little bit long, no good, but the Bulldogs run down the rebound. And I think they're saying Fizo was on the inline. Yep, they did. So turnover to Lake Washington.
So like we saw in the boys' game, a little nerves. I think Lake Washington countered that by going inside first.
Yeah.
Inside out.
Well, when you got that big 6'4", the block there. That was a Rakia Jackson with the block and then takes it over to Malia Samuels. So turnover there. And the Bulldogs are going to be in your face. They're going to contest everything like you just saw there. Malia Samuels on the right side. Over to MB Jones. MB Jones at the free throw line out to Fizo. Fizo then brings it back out. 14 on the shot clock. Fizo between the legs. Driving to her right, takes it all the way to the basket. One hand off the window, won't go. The rebound comes down to Jada Lewis, and I believe Lewis, she's going to be fouled, so she'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Garfield's doing a little too much dribbling. I think they got to get some ball movement, get them moving side to side, get Lake Washington going side to side, and then attacking from a backside or attacking in a slot.
Yeah, how much of that is nerves, Craig? I mean, early on, you're just trying to make something happen and what have you.
And then, like you said, Fizo came off of a big night. So she might think she's still going and then just turn it on. But I think you got to get warm. You got to get other folks involved because she'll always have the ball as well.
Right. Good point. And so Jada Lewis hits 1 of 2 free throws, so it's a 2-1 game. And Fizo knocks the ball out, gets it, and saves it to one of her teammates. Now Sam is with it across the timeline. 19 on the shot clock, driving to the left side. Samuels stepped through, and they're going to say a foul on the floor. Tell you what, Malia Samuels, great ball handler there, and she showed her quickness as well.
That's a great move, that jump step through.
Yeah, that kind of split the defenders.
That's a great move, yes.
It's interesting, Craig. You watch women's basketball, girls basketball, and fundamentally way more sound than the dudes oftentimes. And a fight for the ball and turnover. Lake Washington with it. Long three-pointer won't go. And the ball is going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Bulldogs ball. So 5:33 left to go here in the first quarter. Lake Washington leading Garfield by a score of 2-1. So trying to just get the kinks out on this big stage here. Nice crowd here on both sides of the court. Samuels with the ball. Directing traffic. Over to Lewis. Lewis, step around move. Off the window, won't go. So she got to the basket, but a tough shot wouldn't go. Kangaroos on it. On the run, I should say. Rosen Smith with the ball. Over to Sydney Honey. And from behind, Katie Fizer with the steal. She's going to take it all the way to the basket. One hand, won't go. Rebound there and put back, I believe, Jada Lewis. Yeah, Jada Lewis there.
Just a freshman, too.
So Lewis, all of the Bulldogs 3 points right now. Bulldogs lead it 3-2. And I get there was some contact there, Craig, but it's out near half court, and that's, I struggle with a call like that. There's just a very little contact. Let them play.
I struggle with it too. just so you know, and it's just something. It didn't impede anything. It didn't stop anybody. She could have still got to the basket or made it. But it's let the kids play.
Yeah,
let them
exactly.
play.
Yeah. Striped shirts shouldn't be, deciding the outcome. Shot by the Kangaroos off of the Bulldogs out of bounds, and so the Kangaroos will have it. But the shot didn't draw iron, so they will not reset the 30-second shot clock. 17 on the shot clock. 4:32 left to go here in the first quarter. Three-pointer, and that was Jolie Sim. Sim from the right side, the three-pointer knocked it down. Gives the Kangaroos a 5-3 lead. On the other end of the court, Bulldogs moving it around. Kia Jackson in the corner, out to Samuels. Samuels thinks about the three, then brings it back out top. 10 on the shot clock, driving into the paint. Samuels, and I think they're going to say a foul on the floor. Yep, blocking foul. Tell you what, she will force that action.
Yes.
Craig, it's so fun to see. When you have a true floor general like that understands the game, knows how to get her teammates involved in the game, and in that situation, true the foul, she's going to the line, she'll have two shots.
It makes it so much easier for a coach.
Yeah,
you got an extra coach on the floor.
Yeah. So Samuels' first free throw is good. She'll have one more. This one will tie it up if she can knock it down, and she does. So tie ball game at 5 with 4 minutes left to go. We're halfway through the first frame, and it's all knotted up at 5. Bulldogs putting some light full court pressure, just there, let you know the defense is there. Kangaroos on the other end. Ray Butler-Wu into the big number 12, Elise Hani, and then the jumper won't go, and I believe that was Sydney Hani, the younger of the two. Bulldogs with it. Malia Samuels, no pressure from the defense, brings it across the timeline over to Jada Lewis. 17 on the shot clock. Lewis looking for a screen, out to Samuels. Samuels fakes a three, pump fakes, then shoots it, and it's no good, but there for the rebound. Katie Fizer misses the point blank. Oh, and she missed it. You're not going to see that very often. Fizer with the offensive rebound, but missed. On the other end, coming down, and that was Rosa Smith. Her shot's no good. Bulldogs on the other end, Katie Fizer. Now Fizer bringing it out top. 20 on the shot clock. Calling for a screen. Kicks it over to Jada Lewis. Back to Fizer. Fizer looking for something. Over to Lewis. Lewis backs out. 6 on the shot clock. MB Jones drive to the basket. Use the left hand off the window. Won't go. Boy, MB Jones, a good shot. Just couldn't get it to roll. That English, it rolled in and out. So out of bounds off of the Bulldogs. It'll be Kangaroos ball again. Score tied at 5 with 2:45 left to go here in quarter number 1 of the WIAA 3A Girls State Championship game. Kangaroos across the timeline. Rosa Smith with the ball, guarded by Samuels. Over to Sim. And three-point basket. I was trying to hear, I didn't see who, but it was Ray Butler-Wu with the three-pointer. And that gives the Kangaroos an 8-5 lead here with 2 minutes left to go in quarter number 1. Kick out long, jumper, air ball by the Bulldogs. That was Lucille Richardson is checked into the ball game. Kangaroos on the other end, another three-pointer long, won't go. And Fizer with the rebound across the timeline. She's going to back it out and look for just inside the three-point line. Her jumper's no good, but there for the rebound is Lewis. She puts it back, won't go. And Lucille Richardson, the senior, got the rebound, fouled on the shot. I believe she'll go to the line, have a couple of shots.
Looks like Garfield's a little timid right now. Not a lot of ball movement. There's a lack of attacking the basket other than from Samuel. And maybe because it's the 6'4" girl down there, but you got to go at her as well.
Yeah, you really do. Draw the foul, something on it. So Richardson, first free throw is up and in. She'll have one more. The lefty, second one. It is hits a front iron, no good. Rebound comes down to the Kangaroos. So it's a 2-point ball game, 8-6. Lake Washington over Garfield. 1:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Three-pointer from the right side won't go. And that was a Ray Butler-Woo. Bulldogs with it across the timeline. Jada Lewis. Lewis over to Samuels. Into MB Jones. Jones, a jumper short. And Lake Washington with the rebound. Bulldogs looking to double team, but she gets it out of that double team and across the timeline. Lake Washington's got numbers. Now Garfield gets back. Cutting to the basket, and Angie Helf with the little left-handed kind of scoop shot, and it's in, giving the Kangaroos a 4-point lead, 10-6 with a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Katie Fizel out to Samuels. Samuels in the paint. Yeah, big 6'4" there. Samuels down to Jones. Jones double team. Gets it out to Richardson. Shot won't go. And rebound to the Kangaroos. Top of the key, the jumper, no good. That was Jolie Sim. And rebound comes down to MB Jones. Jones over to Fizo. Fizo looking for something. Kangaroos in kind of a, I don't know if it's a 1-2-2 or a 3. Man, what are they in? Samuels with the drive to the basket, won't go, but she'll go to the line and holding that left leg. She's got that kind of, I don't know what do you call it, the kind of the neoprene or whatever, kind of legging on the left leg only, kind of holding it. Sometimes she's got an injury there. She's nursing, but nevertheless, she'll go to the line. Her first free throw is up, and it's good. So Malia Samuels, her third point of the ball game, all from the free throw line so far. Makes it a 3-point ball game with 26 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Lake Washington 10, Garfield 7. Samuels one more. Free throw is up, and it's good as well. So 2-point ball game here, Craig. 10-8.
Yeah, I think that the kinks are leaving everybody.
Yeah.
Starting to heat up here.
Yeah, you realize, hey, it's just basketball. Let's go ahead and play it. Rosa Smith. Smith with the ball guarded by Samuels. Samuels knocks it away, and they're going to say it's out of bounds on Samuels. So 6.6. What's that?
She loves playing defense. A lot of people just should watch the way she plays defense.
Yeah. And that's the type of play, look at her, even just anticipating the inbounds play. And Fizo coming from behind, and Fizo, and over and back. And so look at that. And Malia's celebrating that, Samuels. And again, that force, that pressure forces that over and back turnover. So 4.1 left to go. The Bulldogs will have it from midcourt, taking it out. Fizo has the ball, and now she gets it. Clock is starting. Fizo driving to her right. Now to her left in the paint. Gets the shot up and partially blocked by Elise Honey. And so at the end of one, Lake Washington leading Garfield by a score of 10-8. And so, Craig, again, both teams looking like they're playing just a little timid, not totally comfortable yet on this stage.
I agree. I think it has a lot to do with getting into this game after a last night game for Garfield, where it was a close game and they kind of got away at the end. Lake Washington is a team that's right across the water from Garfield, so they've watched them, they've seen them. I don't know if they even played in districts against each other, but it looks like they're not afraid to go. You just got to know, you got to look.
Yeah.
Is Garfield going to be able to pressure them into the turnovers? Right now, they look like they're very solid.
Yeah, and and Lake Washington. I mean, you got the big senior, 6'4" senior Elise Hani, and she's a force in there, and makes you think about when you drive in the paint. You got somebody 6'4". So again, pretty well played game. 3 turnovers by Lake Washington, only 2 by the Bulldogs there in the first quarter. And again, Lake Washington Kangaroos leading it. The Bulldogs will have the ball to start the second quarter, but Kangaroos leading the Bulldogs by a score of 10-8. And inbounds play.
Looked like Samuels might have taken a knee in that thigh. She's still kind of laboring right now.
So Samuels with the ball, looking over to Fizo. Fizo will be on the 3-point line. Back to Samuels. 15 on the shot clock. Over to Fizo. They're playing a two-woman game up top. Fizo now looking for something. Driving the baseline, that kicks it over. And Lakia Jackson not able to handle the pass and tries to save it, but it throws it to a Lake Washington player. So the Kangaroos on the run. Inside, and there it is outside. 6'4". Elise Haney, and she gets the bucket.
Garfield's got to attack. Garfield's got to attack some angles right here and then find the dump off. There it is.
Oh, good play. So Samuels with the drive, and then driving on the baseline, or coming down on the baseline was MB Jones, and Samuels fouled her, and then Jones fouled on the play, so she'll go to the line for 2. That's what you're talking about, Craig. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at those angles and find out those spots.
That zone is designed to force you to shoot bad shots or 3-point shots. And you got to attack those gaps and then find the person sliding on the baseline, or now the kick out for the wide open look.
MB Jones hits the first free throw. That's something, Craig, talk about a lot of times. The young kids always want to shoot the 3. And I tell you what, you go back to, when we were kids, Fred Brown with the Sonics, for example, tell you what, the master of that mid-range jump shot. Tell you what, that's a lost art.
Yes.
So Jones hits both free throws, making a 2-point ball game, 12-10. Kangaroos over the Bulldogs. Lake Washington now trying to penetrate the Garfield defense. 17 on the shot clock. And a drive and contact. And they're going to say offensive foul. So trying to force something there, and I believe the offensive foul called on Rosa Smith. She can't believe it. So Bulldogs will take over. 6:52 left to go here in the first half. And I'm looking over at Malia Samuels. It looks like she is laboring a little bit with that left leg. Yeah, I think you might be right. May have taken a knee to it. So again, something you can play through. It can be a little bit painful, but
this is the last game.
Yeah,
of the
this
season.
is state championship, baby. You got to leave it all.
You're going to play through it.
Yep. MB Jones over to Jackson. Jackson with the jump shot won't go. Bulldogs with the rebound. And I believe it was MB Jones with it.
This is your chance to make that run. The big girl's out right now, sitting on the bench, so you got no rim protector.
Long 3-pointer won't go. Malia Samuels on the run. Samuels takes it all the way herself, looking for the foul. She's on the floor. They don't call it. And actually, I think they might call a foul on Samuels, and she can't believe it. She was on the floor. Yep. So Samuels went to the basket and a little bit out of control, but looked like she may have been fouled. She was knocked to the floor, and on the floor, a player fell over her, and they call a foul on Samuels. So ball will go back over to the Kangaroos. 6:12 left to go in the first half. It is a tie ball game, all knotted at 12. Ray Butler-Woo driving in the lane, won't go. Rebound comes off to Fizo. Fizo bringing it across the timeline herself. Fizo between the legs, now calling for a screen. She gets it on the left side, uses it. Over to Samuels. Samuels fakes the 3-pointer, drives in. Little mid-range jumper won't go. Hits the back iron. Rebound comes down to the Kangaroos. I believe that is Angie Health. Health dribbling, then hands it off. Her teammate, 3-pointer, long 3-pointer, off the window. Ray Butler-Woo for 3. Her second 3-pointer of the ball game. Come on in the hood, Craig. You got to call those, man.
I was going to say that, and that's the same shot that Samuel should have shot. She should have shot the bank shot from the angle she was at. Now, one was the one that you wanted to make, and the other one was one that just happened to go in.
Yeah, just happened. Yes. Samuel's on the other end, drops it off to Jackson. Jackson driving, and I believe she's going to be fouled. So again, one of the things Samuel's doing really well is forcing that defense, penetrating, and then kicking out, finding that open player. That's something she does awfully well. Rakia Jackson, that time she's fouled, she'll go to the line. It's a 2-point ball. Check that 3-point ball game with that 3-pointer by Ray Butler. Woo, 15-12 with 5:07 left to go. Lake Washington leading Garfield.
25 now has 3 fouls on that call, so that's going to hurt a little bit.
And first free throw is no good.
Ava Usitalo, number 0, Lake Washington, back in the game now.
Wait, was that 3 or 4 fouls? I thought I saw 4 on there. Well, we'll see, but they pull her out, so we'll see. Second shot, Jackson rolls around, no good, so she misses both free throws. Got to take advantage of those opportunities. Turnover, Fizo gets it over to Lewis. And the basket. Malia Samuels with it. So the defense there, Craig, turned into offense. It makes it a 1-point ball game. And Lake Washington wants a timeout. So with 4:56 left to go in the half, it's a 1-point ball game. Lake Washington 15, Garfield 14.
So it's amazing to see that the Garfield basketball programs, both of them, pride themselves on pressure D, creating opportunities from the defensive end, which has been a trademark, and the girls are doing it as well. Look at the beginning of the game, Lake Washington had that under control, but just the foul, that third foul on one of their ball handlers caused another person to have to come in.
Yeah.
And now Garfield's going to go right after the fresh meat.
Exactly. Yeah. How deep is your bench? And that's the
yes.
And Garfield not only, great starting five, but they've got 2, 3 young ladies coming off the bench. They can go down, down to maybe 7, 8, 9 players, and still not have much of a drop off. So Lake Washington now with the lead, as Kevin Clabber would say, the lead and the leather. Long 3-pointer, that is good. And that was number 0, Sydney Haney. And the junior with the 3-pointer giving Lake Washington a 4-point lead, 18-14, 4:30 left to go. Samuels driving off the window, falling down. Boy, I tell you what, Malia Samuels knocks it down.
She's the kind of player who's going to leave it all out on the floor.
Oh,
Hurt
yeah.
or not.
MB Jones tries to get the steal, doesn't, but now Malia Samuels does it. It's a 2-on-1. Samuels motors to the basket, then over to Fizo, and you got to go up. She's a little overpassing there, and fight for the loose ball. They're going to say it's out on Garfield, Lake Washington ball. So Samuels again there, Craig, a play where you just got to take it up.
Yes, you got to take that one up.
Yeah, appreciate her being unselfish, but at a certain point, it's like, no, you're the better choice.
You're too deep, and your teammate will clean it up for you if you miss off the long side, but you're too deep. You got to shoot that one.
So Lake Washington now across the timeline, and another turnover. Samuels, she has Fizo breaking to the basket all alone, and she lays it in for the basket. So Garfield Bulldogs defense turning into offense. Katie Fizo, her first bucket of the ball game. At least unofficially, that's what I have her first bucket.
And a lot of this came from number 11 coming off the bench and diving for a loose ball. A lot of this energy just came off of that one play.
Yeah, that's Sarah Lessing coming off the bench. Now Lewis out to Samuels. Samuels looking for the 3. Now kicks it over into MB Jones. Jones looking for the drive. Kicks it back out to Fizo. Fizo over to Jones. Jones in the paint. Uses her size, doesn't get it, but Malia Samuels there almost gets a rebound, but comes down to Lake Washington. And that is a Ray Butler-Woo with the ball. She brings it across the timeline. She already has a couple of 3-pointers, looking for it. Kicks it over to Paige. Citron, and Citron misses. Now the Bulldogs on the run and taking it all the way down and off the window. Great play, Jada Lewis, the freshman. Tell you what, Craig, that was a fine play. She just brought it all the way down, took it strong to the basket, crossed over.
Great look, going opposite of her of the direction and going back against her body to hit it off the glass. Nice shot.
So with that basket, the Bulldogs, I want to say, take their first lead, or the first lead since early in the ball game. They lead it 20-18. Timeout on the floor. 2:55 left to go in the half. And Garfield leading it 20-18. You're listening to the WIAA Girls 3A State Championship game. I'm Rick Dupree along with Craig Jackson. And we are live at the Tacoma Dome.
Rick, I think it's going to be a game of, like we said, Garfield being a little deeper. And then Lake Washington going to have to bring big girl back in and get a little height in there, a little rim protecting. Right now, Garfield's got a little rhythm going where they can attack, make their defense their offense, and then get to the basket for those type of easy shots.
Yeah, and Lake Washington with a couple players in foul trouble. And so with 2:55 left to play, there's 18 fouls against Lake Washington. So Garfield in the bonus already, only 2 team fouls on the Bulldogs. So, yeah, that is that will be a factor. But the bigger factor is that on the bench for Lake Washington is a big 6'4" Elise Hani, or Hani, I believe it's pronounced Hani. And that is a big blow for the Kangaroos right now. She's their leading scorer. Kangaroos with the ball, looking for an opening. Angie Health over, looking for the three-pointer. No good. That was Sydney Hani. And Bulldogs come down with the rebound. Katie Faisal. Faisal taking her time now. So Bulldogs on a run here. Faisal, step around, won't go. She had the look, but couldn't get it to fall. And yeah, the Bulldogs, as Craig mentioned earlier, played a late game last night. And so that could be having a little bit of an impact. But hey, you know what? This is for all the marbles, baby. You got to leave it on the floor. Lake Washington moving the ball around. Looking for an opening. Sydney Hani. And three-pointer, I believe that was Angie Help, won't go. Rebound comes down to the Bulldogs. That was Lucille Richardson. She's going to be fouled. And again, they are in the bonus, so she'll go to the line shooting 1-1 with 1:57 left to play. And the Bulldogs leading it by a bucket, 20-18.
Rick, I like that point that you made, but it seems like it almost makes you play better because you're in the last 3 days. That's been your game time.
Yeah.
Other teams have started earlier, moved back. You've been the only one that's been consistently at this time.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So I think it plays into their favor later on in the game as well.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have a technical, I think. Yep. So Rakia Jackson not happy with, I'm not sure if it was what happened, but she slammed the ball on the floor, and as a result, a technical foul called against her. And Lucille Richardson was shooting 1-1, missed the front end of that. So,
as well as a technical foul on Bulldogs number 20, Rainier Jackson.
So the foul, and I've been saying Rakia, I don't know if it's Rakia or Rakia. I hope if you're listening, and I'm going to keep saying Rakia unless somebody tells me I'm wrong. But the PA announcer said Rakia, but I don't think that's it. So Sydney Hani at the line, she hits the first free throw.
Number 5, Emmy Jones.
And Haney will have one. Again, I'm going back and forth between Haney or Hani. And she hits a second free throw. So that ties the ball game up at 20 with 1:55 left to go here in the first half. And inbounding the ball right in front of us, Angie Health gets it over to Paige Citron, back to Health. And Faisal gets a hand on the ball, then Samuels steals it, and I think they're going to say it is off of Lake Washington, Garfield ball. And the Lake Washington coach, Jeff Wilson, there saying, hey, it was off of Bulldog, but the official disagrees. So with 1:46 left to go on the first half, tie ball game, 20-all. Samuels inbounds to Faisal. Faisal backing it out. 18 on the shot clock. Faisal between the legs, over to Samuels. Samuels backs it out, calling for a screen. And doesn't use it. Kicks it out. Three-pointer from the left side, off the rim, won't go. That was Richardson, but there for the rebound is MB Jones. Jones out to Samuels, so they got a new, and they're going to say MB Jones, 3 seconds in the key.
You got a lot of help there from the Lake Washington faithful.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You got a lot of help.
So with 1:25 left to go, we got a tie ball game at 20. Bulldogs going to apply a little bit of full court pressure here. Not anything too major, but making the, maybe so, coming up, looking for the double team. Making Lake Washington think about it. The pass, and it's stolen by Katie Faisal. That's what that'll do, that pressure. Faisal with the steal. She's like that free safety back there. Samuels driving. Little off-balance jumper. No good, but she's fouled. She'll go to the line. She'll have 2 shots.
That's a perfect defensive set for you right there. That pressure, get the ball back, get that steal. Now we get to the line, get a shot, get our breath. 108 left. Probably see some more pressure here to try to get a couple more possessions before the half.
Samuel's first free throws up and in. And yeah, the one disadvantage right now for Lake Washington, they don't have that big 6'4" player where you can throw that ball up when you're pressured and just get it up to her. And again, with I believe 3 fouls, so she has been on the bench. Samuels hits her second free throw, and she being Elise Hani. And we got a blocking foul on the Bulldogs. So that'll be the 4th team foul, or no, 5th. Check that, 5th team foul on the Bulldogs. So fouls have not been an issue for the Bulldogs here in the first half, Craig. Not playing a factor at all. Only the 5th team foul with a minute left to go in the half. Sydney Hani with it, looking, steps back. She finds Health over in the corner. Back to Ray Butler-Woo. Butler-Woo drives to the left side, the lefty end. Banks it off the window. Ray Butler-Woo, nice drive to the basket. And benefited from hitting a couple of threes there. Samuels knifing through the defense, won't go. Jones gets it, won't go. But coming back, and the Bulldogs, a great play there by the freshman, but she won't get it. And then
great hustle.
So Emby Jones with the follow and knocks it down. The Bulldogs leading it by 2, 24-22. A turnover with 18 seconds left. Samuels across the timeline and looking for her teammate there, Lucille Richardson. Ball's knocked out of bounds. So 12.5 left to go in the half. Bulldogs lead it by 2, 24-22. And they will have a shot at extending that lead. Inbounds. Step around move. Oh, and a great play by the freshman Jada Lewis. High off the window, gets the ball. So Bulldogs with a 4-point lead. And there with the steal, the freshman again, Jada Lewis. Tell you what, the freshman stepping up big, Craig, here to end the first half with the bucket and then forcing the turnover. And the Bulldogs will go into the locker room leading at 26-22 after trailing 10-8 after the first quarter.
I think one of the big things we got to look out for is Samuel, that leg. I saw them stretching her out a little bit during every timeout. If she's now how that's going to react, how she's going to react to the halftime.
Yeah.
Are they going to go in and work it out a little bit, ice her up, do whatever it is to kind of keep that
that's a good point.
down.
Will it stiffen up or what have you? Yeah. So you got to keep. That's a really good point. And stats being delivered here. Let's take a look real quickly. So for Lake Washington, leading scorer is Ray Butler-Woo. She had those 2 3-pointers and also a bucket there near the end of the half. Ava Usatalo, she's got 5 points. And then Elise Hani, she, I believe, has, let me read this. Elise Hani, the big 6'4" center, has 4 points, but she's got, I'm looking at the fouls, 3 personal fouls. So she sat out a majority of that second half. And then, 4 fouls there. That is Rosa Smith. So I thought I saw somebody up there with 4 fouls, and that was it, Rosa Smith. So that's going to play a big factor. You got 2 starters, one with 4 fouls, one with 3 fouls for Lake Washington. On the other side of the ball, Malia Samuels leading the Bulldogs with 10 points. And let's see, Katie Fizo has struggled. She's 1 of 8 from the field so far. Bulldogs have only taken 4 3-pointers, have missed them all. But Fizo, again, only 1 of 8. And it's got 2 points. That is their leading scorer. Jada Lewis has 7 points. And Emby Jones, 6 points. So the Bulldogs spread it around a little bit. And even though their big scorer, Katie Fizo, is struggling, they had the lead here at the half, 26-22. I'm going to throw it to Daniel Bellis, and Craig and I will be back for second half action in about 6-7 minutes right here live from the state 3A championship. Garfield leading Lake Washington 26-22. Daniel?
Thank you there, Rick and Craig, here at the half on Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station. Currently seeing some sights and sounds of halftime right here, as we are permitted to show you some of the action that goes on during halftime, including special award presentations and cheerleader performances. But as you can see, we are live here from the Tacoma Dome. Unfortunately, we cannot show you the actual game action due to WIAA regulations, but we are at the half at 9:49 p.m. Garfield leading Lake Washington by 4 points in a rematch of the last girls' state championship in 2020, 2 years ago. Wow. But these teams are both back, and they both had an interesting road getting here. As you can see here on the board, top-seeded Meade was the big surprise. Obviously, they grabbed the top seed after going undefeated all season long. Had a pretty tough non-conference schedule as well, but they lose the last 2 games of the season. That game against Lake Washington by 1 point, and in the semis. And then earlier today in the third, fifth place game, they lose again to Arlington, 61-44. That one not even being close. And they finished 5th place on the year, despite being number 1 all season long. Lake Washington, though, has been pretty impressive here in the state tournament. They were around a bottom top 10 team all season long, but when it counted, they showed up definitely in the Sea King districts. I believe taking 3rd place out of that one, losing to Lakeside in the semis there of the district. But they started off kicking off Hermanson of the Mid-Columbia, of course, top-seeded Meade there. And then here in the championship, Garfield as the 2 seed was neck and neck with Meade all season long, including in defense. The teams are literally comparable right there. I think Meade is allowed 34.4 points a game, Garfield 34.8. But Garfield started out with another playing Lakeside once again, the 3rd time this season. They played during the regular season in one of their closest contests of the year. District championships, that was against Lakeside. The Metro Championship, that was against Lakeside. And Garfield's first entry into the tournament was against Lakeside again. Same result, though, 67-50. They played Arlington in the semis, 56-42, knocking off the last Westco team. Good performance by Westco teams, though, by the way. Arlington, Snohomish, Stanwood, all making state. Making that as a final 12 there, and in the 4th, 6th place game against Westco opponents, that one went to Snohomish, 51-43 over Stanwood. Right there, you are live on your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio. Seeing a couple of people trying to make some last-second shots here at halftime. Some impressive stuff. We are about 4 minutes away from your second half of action on your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio. We want to do a quick little shout-out to our sponsors who help us make these broadcasts happen. The Washington State Department of Health, Public Health, Seattle-King County, and For Culture. And you can get your dream project underway with For Culture in the arts, history, or historic preservation, offering lots of resources to help you navigate the grant process, including virtual workshops happening weekly. Deadline is April 20th for their recent grant. You can learn more at forculture.org. If you need English language support in order to talk to For Culture staff or to apply, please email hello, HELLO, at forculture, that's the number 4.org. Hello at forculture.org to let them know. And if you would like to apply for a project grant, you can see that on the screen there. Go to forculture.org/project-grants. forculture.org/project-grants or dash, whatever. Yeah, if you want to apply for that For Culture grant, which is deadline is April 20th, forculture.org/project-grants. grants. We are live on your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio. Garfield warming up here for the second half. The Kangaroos of Lake Washington back on their way as well. We will turn the camera over back to our broadcast team of Rick Dupree and Craig Jackson when we start your second half. But right now, at the half, Garfield leads Lake Washington 26-22 after a late second quarter run to put them up. Lake Washington led early, but Garfield definitely turned the tide. Looks like Lake Washington's getting back on the court right there. Shouts out to Tonya Watch right there. What's up, bro? We are live on your community radio station. That's what's up, and we got a lot of programs on this station. You can check us out on Thursdays. If you want to follow this Metro League, they will have an update for you at 7 o'clock this Thursday, wrapping up the performance of all the Metro teams with Pat McCarthy, the Metro director, and as well as Masvita Mariar of Cascadia Sports. That's live this Thursday. They're back, and they'll recap the winter sports season and let you know about what's going on with spring sports and everything you need to know about if you can watch the games and all the specific information right from Metro League's director, Pat McCarthy. We got other programming on the station. The Gumbo is a talk show focusing on celebrity gossip and politics. Very fun show. That's on Thursdays at 8 p.m. You also got a new show on the station called 5 Easy Questions, hosted by Easy D. It's as it sounds. It's 30 minutes, and it's every Thursday at 11 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio. If you want to get fit, check out the Fitness Corner with Mark Bryant. He shows you how to integrate new stretches and lifts every Friday at 11:30 a.m. You get a live fitness demonstration from powerlifting champion Mark Bryant. On Friday as well, you got Mac McGregor at noon. You can make a difference, interviewing people that are, well, quote unquote, making a difference in their community. At 12:30, we give love to the seniors and all the issues that affect seniors. It's called Seniors Matter with Brenda Charles every Friday at 12:30 p.m. We also do a show on the coronavirus every Friday at 1 p.m. hosted by Tony B., giving you interviews with state officials and local community members on what is going on with coronavirus and everything you need to know and get help. We are going to take it back to our broadcast team of Rick Dupree and Craig Jackson.
All right, thank you, Daniel. We are back and about to start. And Craig, any big keys you saw in that first half as we start the second half?
Just Lake Washington being able to handle the pressure, and then Garfield actually being able to get them into some turnovers. That 11 turnovers that they had in the first half was big for Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield really forced some, and that is Angie Help with the long three-pointer, falls short, out of bounds, so the Bulldogs will take over. So as we start the second half, Bulldogs lead it by 4, 26-22. And I'll tell you what, you look at your best player, or best scorer, I should say, in Katie Fizo, and only 1 of 8 in that first half. So you figure that she's going to break out of that at some point, and that's going to make a difference. Samuels over to, I believe that was Jones, or check that, Jackson, and that won't go, but rebound comes down to the Bulldogs. So the second shot's playing a factor here. Bulldogs have a new 30. Fizo backs it out. Gets a screen from Jones over to Samuels. Samuels three-pointer, and it's good. Leah Samuels, deep three-pointer. So Samuels led the Bulldogs in the first half with 10 points and starts it off with a three-pointer to give Bulldogs their largest lead of the ball game so far, 29-22. We're just a minute into the into the second half, I should say. Bulldogs with a 7-point lead. Lake Washington moving the ball around now into Elise Hani, and she's going to be called. Oh, that's her 4th foul. She is not happy. Oh, my. So, Craig, that is 4 fouls on Hanny, and then Rosa Smith has 4 as well. That's a game changer, man.
It really is. Now we can spread the floor. We can spread the floor, and we can possibly get down the lane and get some closer buckets, some kickouts. Faisal's got to be a little more aggressive here and probably shoot a couple mid-range, not try to get all the way to the basket.
Yeah, or shoot the 3. Let it come to you, but get that, like you said, that mid-range, which is a lost art we talked about earlier. Samuels, another 3-pointer from the same spot, hits the back iron, bounces up, but fight for the rebound, and the referee say it's Garfield ball.
So I think maybe you run her off of a pick, or you run someone else off a pick. You run Samuels off a pick and set her in the corner.
Yeah, you got to get her a couple easy shots. Get her in a rhythm. Yeah, that's a good point. So Bulldogs, a new 30, take it out inbounds. Faisal on the right side, dribbling, passes it into Lewis, and Lewis loses it, and I think they're going to say it's off of her. Yeah, they're saying it's off of Jada Lewis. So it'll be Kangaroos ball. 6:29 left to go here in quarter number 3. Garfield leading Lake Washington 29-22. Kangaroos with the ball. Ray Butler Woo, forgive me. Paige Citron over to Angie Health, moving the ball around. Lake Washington looking for an opening and stolen by Malia Samuels. That defense. Samuels on the run. Is going to take it all the way to the basket herself. Falls just shy. Kind of just couldn't quite get over the front to iron. And so Lake Washington on the run. Moving the ball around, looking for an opening in this Garfield defense. Sydney Hani with it. Over to Ray Butler Woo. Into Citron with a drive to the basket, won't go, and Imby Jones comes up with it, and her pass knocked out of bounds. It looks like Samuels may have taken a shot to the head, but she's okay.
Yeah, it's a different game time now without the 6'4" girl in the middle that you can throw the ball up to, and she can get in low.
Kangaroos have a tough
Washington's got to just play some D and until they can get her back in the game, which may be a long time.
Now, Craig, if you're coaching, would you keep her out for the entire third quarter, bring her back in the fourth, or would you bring her back? Imby Jones from the elbow, about a 15-footer. She knocks it down, giving the Bulldogs their largest lead of the game, 9 points, 31-22.
That question is a great question. It just depends how close we can keep it. Depends on how close we can keep it.
Yeah,
good point. Out of hand, I might have to get her in there at least on the defensive end to just guard the basket, and let's run a zone.
Yeah, and it's starting to get to that point. 4:49 left to go. Bulldogs their largest lead of 9 points. Foul on the floor, so it'll be a new 30 for the Kangaroos as they take it out. 3-pointer from the right side, way long. Paige Citron wouldn't go. Coming down for the Bulldogs with Rakia Jackson in front of us. Hands it off to Malia Samuels. Samuels taking her time. High post, Jada Lewis. Lewis spin move. Ooh, they called her for a travel. I don't know if the official just not used to seeing the young lady do that, but that looked pretty clean to me, Craig.
It was one of their emphasis this year that anything on a spin move off of the pivot, that ball is still in the hand. When that pivot foot comes up, they're going to call it travel.
That's what happened on that one. So Lake Washington now. Butler Woo with it. 3-pointer. And that was a Sydney Hani won't go. And rebound comes down to Malia Samuels. Samuels across the timeline now. We're about halfway through this third quarter. Bulldogs leading 31-22. Samuels driving. Little short jumper won't go. And coming down with the rebound, Butler Woo. And now across the timeline is Paige Citron. Citron all the way and loses the ball, but they're going to say it's off of the Bulldogs. I think Malia Samuels knocked it out. So Lake Washington will have it 22 on the shot clock. The baseline inbounds. 3:51 left to go in the third quarter.
Big possession for Lake Washington. Haven't scored yet in the second half. Got to get a bucket right here.
Yeah, we're more than halfway through. That's a good point, Craig. They have not put any points on the board yet. Looking for an opening, Rosa Smith. She's back in the ball game with 4 fouls. Trying not to get that fifth. Butler Wu driving the lane, some contact, and yep, blocking foul. Let's see if she was shooting or if they say it was on the floor. I think they're going to say she was in the act of shooting. Nope, it was on the floor. So new 30, 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs lead it by 9, 31-22. So Kangaroos inbounds, goes to Rosa Smith. Over to Sydney Hani. Moving the ball around. Butler Wu. Over to Hani. Hani the jumper, no good, and rebound comes down to the Bulldogs. Katie Fizel. Fizel says, I'll take it down myself. She comes across the timeline. Fizel now driving into the paint, kicks it out. Bulldogs moving the ball around, looking for that opening. Fizel was somewhat open underneath, and the pass inside just not able to handle it. It was just a little out of her reach. Goes out of bounds, so unforced error there. Bulldogs turn it over. Lake Washington will take possession, I should say, not retains it. 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter here, Craig. 31-22. Bulldogs up by 9. Kangaroos looking for their first points, and the shot is blocked. A good play there by Sarah Lessing with the shot, with the block, I should say. Lessing, a freshman. Boy, I tell you what, the Bulldogs, we talked about this earlier, they are young.
Young. And some of the hustle plays are incredible by some of these young ladies. Fizel here, she's got to do something for herself and her team. She's got to get on the board here.
Yeah, she struggled today or tonight. Richardson over to Fizel into Jones. And they're going to say Jones traveled. So she kind of got stuck there. They're going to call the travel turnover. Lake Washington takes it. Get 2.5 minutes left to go. And Lake Washington still has not scored, Greg, in this half yet. Kangaroos looking for their first bucket and have had a tough time trying to penetrate this Garfield defense. Moving the ball around. Sydney Hani drives into the lane, and that's a good move. Sydney Hani takes it all the way to the basket and gets the Kangaroos their first bucket of the quarter. 31-24, Garfield. Fizel with it. Looking, stops, kicks it out to Lessing. Lessing over to the freshman Lewis. Lewis on top. Lewis driving the paint, takes it all the way to the rack, now comes back. Looking, puts the shot up, and they call her on a travel, I think. I didn't see what the call was there, but turnover.
3 travels in a row, too.
So coming back into the ballgame, the floor general, Malia Samuels, back in for the Bulldogs.
Only scoring 2 points this half cannot make that coach happy. But he has to be optimistic that he's still
only 7
in
points
the game.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Craig. Excellent point. So we got a timeout on the floor. 1:46 left to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs holding, as Craig just said, the Lake Washington Kangaroos to only 1 bucket just a moment ago. Still only with a 7-point lead, 31-24. Bulldogs went into the half, into the locker room leading 26-22. Now lead at 31-24. So I want to take a moment to just say thank you to our sponsors. Without them, we could not bring this action to you. And so a big thank you to and recognition to Public Health Seattle King County, For Culture, and the Washington State Department of Health. And you know what? Get your dream project underway. Apply for a For Culture project grant in the arts, history, or historic preservation, offering lots of resources to help you navigate the grant process, including virtual workshops happening weekly. The deadline is April 20th. That's April 2020. Learn more at forculture.org. And if you need English translation or English language support, email hello, HELLO, at forculture.org. All right, back in the action. Lake Washington with the ball, trailing by 7. 1:30 left to go in the half, or in the quarter, I should say, third quarter. Forgive me. Again, Lake Washington trying to penetrate this Garfield defense. A nice drive to the basket. Butler Wu, but she could not get the shot to go down. And errant pass by the Bulldogs. Now fight for it, and it's going to be a jump ball. And the arrow is pointing the Bulldogs away. So got a little sloppy with it, but they were bailed out. The fact that they had the possession, a little hustle there.
Garfield's been getting all the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
Just even diving on the ground, going for them, or just luck of the draw, but they get all of them right now.
Fizo with the ball over to Samuels. 20 on the shot clock. Samuels taking her time, now dribbling to the left. Back over to Fizo. Fizo to Jones. Jones, free throw line jumper, and falls short, but it goes in the hands of Samuels, and then over to Fizo into MB Jones. Jones, step around move, left-handed off the window. Nice move by MB Jones. Put the Bulldogs up by 9 again, 33-24. Kangaroos looking for something offensively, Craig, and they just have not been able to crack this Garfield defense so far, here in the second half at least. Drive to the basket, great defense by Samuels, long three-pointer, and it is good. Oh my, Butler Wu. So Ray Butler Wu, a long three-pointer, and that makes it a 6-point ball game, Craig, and all of this only a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs.
No doubt. Fizo's got to find her rhythm. Travel.
Another travel, yeah. Boy, a lot of unforced errors there for the by the Bulldogs. Yeah, like you said, Fizo just has not been able to get in the rhythm at all tonight so far. So again, with the Kangaroos only scoring 5 points in this quarter so far, still only trailing by 6 points. So timeout on the floor. And again, the score with 10 seconds left to go here in quarter number 3. Bulldogs leading the Kangaroos 33-27. So, Daniel, other scores earlier in the day. We got some state champions that we can recognize and let our fans know about.
Yeah, Rick, earlier on today in the third and fifth place game, Arlington defeated the last 2 games of the season. Of course, being knocked out by the Kangaroos in the semis, and then losing to Arlington in the third, fifth place game, 61-44. Arlington's Jenna Villa put down 23 points and 8 rebounds. Kira Marsh had 15 points and 4 steals. Meade in their fifth place effort. Parker Brown led with 9 pounds, and Haley Byrne with 7 rebounds.
And there you have it, back in the action now. Lake Washington with the ball, looking for a shot. Ball is on the floor. So again, great defense by the Bulldogs, just making it tough on the Kangaroos. So possession there, and that's a great job by the Bulldogs, because now the possession arrow goes back to them. 0.3 seconds. Very difficult on the inbounds play for the Kangaroos to get a shot off.
It's got to be a tap. Can't even gather.
Yep. And she tried to gather, and yep. So no bucket there. And after 3 frames, Garfield leading Lake Washington 33-27. Also want to remind you that in the earlier game you heard here on Rainier Avenue Radio, Auburn, a winner. They are the boys 3A state champion. They beat Rainier Beach by a score of 58-48. Also had some 4A games played earlier in the day, but again, Auburn, their first state championship. So congratulations to the Trojans, the boys winning that one. And there you go. We just got the stat sheet here, Craig. Anything as you take a look through there standing out for you? Turnovers, 14 and 13. So game got a little bit sloppy here in the third quarter.
And that's how Lake Washington got to only score, 5 points in the quarter and stay close. Garfield turned the ball over more in the second half.
Yeah, because Garfield, I think at the half, let's see, I'm looking at the halftime, they had 6 turnovers. And so they had, a total of 7 turnovers. So more than they had in the first half in that quarter. So, yeah, that's a key point in the ball game. So we got 1 quarter left to play here. Garfield with a 6-point lead, 33-27. And, if you're coach, for the Kangaroos, if you're coach Jeff Wilson, you got 2 of your key players with 4 fouls, but you got to get them on the floor.
Yeah, they got to play right now. It's all or nothing right now.
So the Bulldogs will have possession here. And right in front of us, freshman Jada Lewis will take it out.
And they're both on the floor.
Yep. And, you tell your players at that point, hey, don't foul. You cannot foul. We need you in the game. If somebody goes by, you give up that bucket, but don't foul out. So Bulldogs moving around. Lewis over to Fizo. Samuels looking for the three. Says no. Too far out. Fizo 13 on the shot clock. Fizo driving the lane. Little runner. It won't go. So decent shot she's hit often, but misses that one. So she still just has not gotten into a rhythm tonight at all yet. Lake Washington across the timeline. Rosa Smith with the ball. And there you go. And great job. Katie Fizo came over. Oh, they're going to call, I think, a foul. Oh, wait a minute. Technical. Let's see what the call is here. So the ball went into Elise Hani, and Fizo came over and made the block. Were they? I'm not sure why technical was called, correct?
It must have been her reaction or something she said.
Okay.
On the block.
That's a tough one, Craig. I mean,
yes.
I know. I mean, and you see it in all the leagues. NFL, they're talking about taunting or, too much celebration. Rosa Smith misses the first free throw, and she gets the second one.
And you also have to remember, she's struggling a little bit. I think Coach Hall should actually take her off of the point, especially now that Lake Washington has gone into a zone. Get her on the backside. Be able to get the ball to her off of some seals or something over the top or something like that. Take her off the point.
So with the one of two free throws, Rosa Smith pulls Lake Washington within 5 points, 33-28. Long three-pointer won't go. That was Butler Wu. Rebound comes down to Samuels over to Fizo. And now Lake Washington gets back into that 2-3 zone. Fizo over to Lewis, the freshman. Swinging around. Fizo's open on the backside there, but they don't see her. Samuels now looking for something. Over to Lewis. Back to Samuels. 7 on the shot clock. We got to get something. Jackson with the shot from the paint from about the elbow won't go, and I think they're going to call a foul. Yep. So that's going to be the 14th foul on the Bulldogs, which this may, right now, foul is still not a factor, but you got to be careful. So MB Jones returns. She has a short rest there, but a player they need, especially to counter the big 6'4", Elise Hani. Jump shot won't go. Bulldogs with a rebound. Fizo with it. So she'll bring it up herself. Across the half-court line. Bulldogs looking for something. MB Jones, high post. Over to Lewis, the freshman. It's had a fine game. Jackson on the baseline. Little jumper won't go. So right now, each team only getting one shot, Craig. And so both teams doing a good job on the defensive boards. But again, just not seeing that fluid movement we saw earlier in the game. They're going to call a foul, holding foul on the Bulldogs. So that's the 15th foul. And that foul called on the freshman, Jada Lewis. So yeah, that's going to become a factor here. That's her third foul. So Bulldogs, nobody with more than 3 fouls, but the team fouls is going to be a factor in just a moment. Three-pointer, and that is no good. That was Paige Citron.
Looks like Lake Washington is going to make a real effort to get Hani the ball in the middle. Use her height where she can distribute and find someone open.
So on the miss, it went out of bounds on the Bulldogs, so Lake Washington will retain possession. A new 30 on the shot clock. Inbounds, and some confusion there, and it went to Bulldogs get it. So I think one Lake Washington player thought one of her teammates going one way, she went the other, and the Bulldogs get the turnover. So they are across the timeline now. 18 on the shot clock. Fizo with it. Fizo driving to the basket, falling down, won't go. Yeah, she has really struggled tonight, Craig. Lake Washington on the run on the other end. Long three-pointer, and nothing but air there for Jolie Sim.
Been watching the last couple of times. They're in like a matchup just on her. They don't allow her to bring the ball, reverse the ball. They keep her to one side of the court. I think the best thing that he's done right now is probably taking her off of the ball and put her in a corner.
That being Katie Fizo.
Yes.
And again, they're just trying to manufacture something where she can get an easy bucket. Because right now, you probably, it's just your confidence. You're like, oh, man, it's one of those nights. I mean, we've all been there. Samuels takes it into the paint. Hands it off to Jackson. Jackson won't go. Rebound to the Kangaroos. Smith across the timeline, three-pointer, and it is good. Ray Butler-Woo, her fourth three-pointer of the ball game, and all at once it's a two-point ball game, Craig. 33-31 Bulldogs, 4:55 left to play, and Coach Marvin Hall says, I want to discuss things. Timeout Bulldogs.
I don't know if you saw that the last time when Samuels came off of that pick, came off and went. They stayed home on Fizo, and help came from the backside. That's where you got to slide one person up the lane and one down the lane. So maybe you have your low post flash up high, and the person from the corner now flash, because there's only one person on that side to guard that.
We will see if the Bulldogs kind of recognize that and what they do with that. So it is a ball game here. 4:54 left to go in the ball game, and it is only a 2-point lead for the Bulldogs, 33-31. So after only scoring 5 points in the third quarter, Lake Washington is in this ball game, Craig.
And who would ever think that? I mean, I even tell my team that third quarter can make or break you. They fought through. They didn't give up too many points as well. Garfield turned the ball over, and they just hung tough, and they got their two starters back in the game. Now we can say we got a ball game.
Yeah, they played 3 minutes here, and they have not fouled out yet. So that's big, and that being the two big players for Lake Washington being Rosa Smith and Elise Hani. Each of them have 4 fouls, so they're playing with it right now. And actually, the two of them have 4 fouls. So the Bulldogs with the ball, 20 on the shot clock, trying to manufacture something on the offensive end. MB Jones, and they're going to call Katie Fizo on the foul. Jones missed the shot, then Fizo called on the rebound, a foul on the rebound. So that is Fizo's third foul. More importantly, though, the 6th team foul on the Bulldogs. So from this point forward, Lake Washington will be in the bonus, 4:45, so more than half the quarter left. That could be a real big factor here. Only 2 team fouls on Lake Washington so far. Kangaroos with it, bringing it across the timeline. Bulldogs applying some pressure, trying to force the turnover. Hani gets it, and she takes it to the basket, and it's good. Elise Hani, her first bucket in the second half, and that ties it up. We got a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. Katie Fizo with it up top. MB Jones at the high post, back to Fizo. Fizo looking for something. Samuels thinks about the 3, then takes it. In and out, won't go. Hani with the rebound. Lake Washington take the first lead here in the second half. Kangaroos moving the ball. Jolie Sim. Oh, and that is a good bucket. That was Ray Butler-Woo. And did they call that a 3? No, I guess that was a 2. 37-33. Lake Washington leading it now by 4. Jackson on the baseline, won't go. MB Jones for the rebound. Jones puts it back up. It won't go. Gets her own rebound again. Fight for the loose ball. And Lake Washington gets to it. Hustle. Sydney Hani over to Ray Butler-Woo. Okay, now they corrected it. Yeah, so that was a 2-pointer, and Lake Washington up by 2. And now, Jolie Sim, 3-pointer from deep on the right baseline. And that gives Lake Washington a 38-33 lead. They mistakenly had 37 up there a minute ago, but it's 35. That 3-pointer gives Lake Washington a 5-point lead, 38-33, 2:50 left to go in the ball game. Tell you what, the Bulldogs have gone cold at the wrong time. Fizo all the way to the basket, and she takes it in there. Katie Fizo. Tell you what, that's what great players do, Craig.
Find a way. That could get her going.
So that's a 3-point ball game. Lake Washington lead it 38-35. And trying to force it into the big one, Elise Hani, and it's knocked away. Garfield with the steal. Samuels taking it all the way down into the paint. Step back jumper, a little short, won't go. And Lake Washington with the rebound. Maybe a little bit of force there for Malia Samuels. You don't see that very often. Double team, and Samuels forcing the steal. Samuels got behind the back. Samuels lays it in. Oh, great defensive play and finish by Malia Samuels. That ties it up. No, check it. Makes it a 1-point ball game, 38-37 with 1:58 left to play. Lake Washington leading it by a point.
High stakes basketball right here, Rick.
Yeah, man.
High stakes
Come on.
basketball.
Butler Wu with the ball, looking, picks up her dribble. And timeout. Yeah, Jeff Wilson says, let me call a timeout. So 10 seconds on the shot clock, 1:43 left in the ball game, and Lake Washington leading Garfield 38-37.
I was a little worried about Garfield's body language on the bench, watching him. Faisal's bucket gave him a little life. Then the steal here, and the move and the finish by Samuels. And now we got, like we said, now we got two teams that are really worried about or concentrating on winning the game, winning the state championship. You had one that looked like they were trying not to lose and worried about not losing, and one that had fought through and was on their way to maybe taking some momentum away and winning the game. Now we got both teams ready to go. Both crowds are in it. It's ready to. It's the next 143 is going to be great.
Yep, we got a ball game here. So I hope you're enjoying our coverage here on Rainier Avenue Radio. I want to remind you, just want to say thank you to our sponsors of the evening, making it possible for us to bring this ball game to you. That would be the Washington State Department of Health, For Culture, and Public Health Seattle, King County. Thank you very much for your support. And we are excited to bring you this state championship game, the AAA Girls State Championship game. Lake Washington, Garfield, Kangaroos lead it 38-37, 1:43 left to go in the ball game. Kangaroos taking it out, 10 on the shot clock. This is a huge possession, Craig, for both teams. Garfield's got to get a stop. Lake Washington's got to get a bucket. Contact there, no call. Kangaroos, and they're not going to get a shot off. Yeah, they said the shot was off right before the shot clock went. No violation, but the miss, and Garfield with the rebound. So good stop by the Bulldogs. Samuels with it across the timeline. 20 on the shot clock, 1:20 left to go in the ball game. Faisal has it. Tell you what, big players wanted in big moments. Faisal over to MB Jones. Jones on the floor to the basket. MB Jones, strong move. Oh, that's a big bucket by MB Jones. Giving the Bulldogs a 1-point lead, 39-38 with a minute left to play. On the other end, Lake Washington looking for something. Moving around on the perimeter. Oh, a block. Tell you what, coming from nowhere was Rakia Jackson on the block. So Lake Washington retains possession, 14 on the shot clock, 51 in the game. Bulldogs with a 1-point lead. Tell you what, Craig, you said it the last minute 40. Hey, we got a ball game here.
They got to go low.
Whoa. Long three-pointer, short, and Bulldogs with the rebound. So ill-advised shot there, Craig. Like you said, go to your big player there. You want to hit Elise Hani, and they didn't. She was out of the high post. So Malia Samuels gets it across the timeline over to Faisal. 33 on the game clock, 17 on the shot clock, and Marvin Hall says, I want to talk about this timeout Bulldogs. So let me set the stage. It's a 1-point ball game. Garfield leading 39-38. 31.5 seconds left in the game. 17 on the Bulldogs shot clock, and they have the ball. Woo, Craig, if you're Marvin Hall, what are you telling your team? You got to walk away with the bucket here.
Yes, we gotta get something going to the basket. Don't have to settle for a jump shot or a three, but if it's wide open, you got to be ready to hit it. But on the same thing, you got to take care of the ball because Lake Washington only has 2 team fouls, and they can be very aggressive by stopping the clock, by
really
fouling,
good point. Yeah.
and going for the ball. So you got to be strong with the ball right now.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, again, I mean, I'm telling my players, I don't want a 3-point, even if you got an open 3-point, it's a low percentage shot. Take the ball in the basket, force the action, get a bucket. So 17 on the shot clock. Samuels takes it out right in front of us. And she gets it to Faisal. So Faisal now. She's guarded by Sydney Hani. Faisal. Free throw line jumper won't go, but there's the freshman for the rebound. It's blocked. And tell you what, great play by Rakia Jackson. Saves it, but saves it right to Lake Washington. So 9 seconds left. It's a 1-point ball game. Kangaroos got to get it across. They get it across half court. 4 seconds on the clock. Long shot at the buzzer. Top, it won't go. The Bulldogs win it. Garfield, state champion. They win it 39-38. Oh, my, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish, Craig.
Man, incredible, incredible. I thought that offensive rebound should have been pulled out for another possession instead of trying to go up, but it worked out for Garfield. Lake Washington played their butts off as well, but it just worked out. Basketball guys were looking out for the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, yep. So what an evening we've had here in Tacoma. The first game, Auburn, a winner over Rainier Beach to be the 3A state champion. And right now, this girls 3A state champion goes to the Garfield Bulldogs. Congratulations. Bulldogs putting another state championship trophy in the trophy case there at at Garfield.
Wow.
Oh, what a game. So taking a look at this for the Bulldogs, Malia Samuels finished with 15, MB Jones with 12. On the other side, Ray Butler-Wu, 16 points. Only player in double figures for Lake Washington. So you kind of see it, the cameras on the Bulldogs there celebrating. And Craig, you've been there. You've been there before. What's that like?
It's a crazy feeling, man. I mean, just so many emotions. You put in so many hours throughout the season and in the off season getting ready to try to get to this point. And to win it like that, I mean, your adrenaline's flowing. You don't know if the shot's going to go in or anything's going to happen. But then as soon as you get that ball and you hear that clock go off, it's just like a release.
Yeah.
Everything releases.
And, Lake Washington had a shot. Ray Butler-Wu had the ball on the right side, and she was pretty deep and double teamed. And with time run up, she had to throw it up and made a valiant effort, but it fell short. And the Bulldogs win it 39-38. Congratulations to the Garfield Bulldogs. And and here we see Lake Washington, the Kangaroos, celebrating their runner-up. And again, nothing to go home, hang your head for about. And obviously, like you said, you didn't get what you came here for, but a finish to a great season.
Yes, great season, great season. There's only one champion, and that's just the way it is. But the fact that you got to play in the last game of the season means that you put in that work as well. And that's what it's all about. And then, to be in a game like that, that was a real battle.
Yeah, it was to the final buzzer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and all coaches, all players, and anybody really watching the game know that both of those teams gave it all they had. Some of those folks are going to fall out and go to sleep on the way home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to remind you, as you're looking at the celebration there, the Bulldogs are receiving the state championship trophy. Get your dream project underway. Apply for For Culture project grant in the arts, history, or historic preservation, offering lots of resources to help you navigate through the grant process. And that includes virtual workshops, and those are happening weekly. The deadline is April 20th. You can learn more at forculture.org. And if you need help, if you're English language support, English is your second language, you can talk to For Culture staff or apply, or I should say get some direction on how to apply. Just go to email, hello, HELLO at forculture.org, and they will make sure there is someone to help you along those lines. And a final thank you to our sponsors of the evening, powering tonight's game, making it possible for us to bring you both of these championship games. For Culture, the Washington State Department of Health, and Public Health Seattle King County. Thank you very much. And finally, I would say, if you like what you're listening to here on Rainier Avenue Radio, go to Venmo and hit us at Rainier Avenue Radio and make a donation. We appreciate your support, because that helps us continue to bring you great programming like this tonight. For Daniel B., for Craig Jackson, that's going to wrap it up for us here at the Tacoma Dome. Again, Garfield, the girls, your state champion, 3A state champion, beating Lake Washington 39-38. Earlier in the evening, Auburn, a 58-48 winner over Rainier Beach to take the 3A boys title. Let you hear the celebration. That's the Garfield band. Yes, indeed. And you see that celebration right there. Coach Marvin Hall, Malia Samuels. Look at Malia Samuels got that trophy as big as her. She not letting that go. You hear the Garfield band in the background. You can see them there to the far left of the screen. That's them in the stands there. Well, we got somebody standing right in front. You can't quite see them, but they're there. And it is celebration time for the Garfield Bulldogs. So as Daniel told you earlier, these two teams met back in the spring of 2020, right at the start of the pandemic, and Garfield won it then as well. So the Bulldogs, the big winner tonight, and congratulations to Garfield as they are the girls 3A state champion, I should say. 39-38 winner over Lake Washington. Craig pointed out, good point. 5 lead changes, 6 ties in the ball game. So yeah, this was a tightly contested ball game all the way through.
Those probably all came late.
Yeah. No,
This game went back and forth. Wow.
That's a really good point. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. That's going to do it for us here at the Tacoma Dome. A reminder, join me Monday night, 6:30. I'll have Steve Kelly and David Dupree on Monday Night Sports. We'll talk about the NFL, the lack of black coaches, and what needs to happen to bring in more coaches of color at the NFL at that level. So that discussion with those two fine reporters, long-time columnist Steve Kelly from the Seattle Times, David Dupree, Hall of Fame writer from both the Washington Post and USA Today. So that'll be 6:30, followed by Lidline Sports Granville, Pepe Little O. That's at 7 o'clock, all that right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Again, for Craig Jackson, for Daniel Bellis, I'm Rick Dupree. Hope you enjoyed our coverage. Until next time, peace and God bless.